That's a wrap on Northfield. 11 o'clock at night. Not bad. I'm going to get to bed around midnight. Got to be up at 5:30, 5:20. A shower, get to the airport for a 7 a.m. flight. That's actually a pretty late flight for what the flights have been the last few weeks. It just seems like we were getting up in the middle of the night to get to the airport. And I think tomorrow will be a welcomed flight at 7 a.m. The only problem with tomorrow is the flight home. I don't think I'll be able to stay there to drive Steel Cowboy. There's just not enough time. It's not going to work out. Not only the races would have to go off faster than they're able to go off, and we know that's not going to happen in the 21st century. So we'll see what happens tomorrow, but I'm going to focus on what happened tonight, and I'm going to focus on what comes tomorrow before Steel Cowboy. Big day tomorrow for the stable. We have big day coming up. Don't forget, we may race for 100 tomorrow with Pickpocket and with Arson, but don't forget that we are also racing for 100 on Wednesday with Blanton's Blue. So a lot going on the next couple of days. Good luck to everybody involved with those horses. They are coming in very, very good and look good. So I'll be excited to participate in those three races for sure. Tonight, I had the 8-hole with What a Mission. I really didn't pick the program up until I got to the track. I know what a Mission's all about. Who else was he in with? I just assumed he's been racing pretty tough company. 8-hole in with the similar horses. It was going to be a salvage operation, right? Try and get as much money as we can. I get to the track. I walk up to the board. Man, take nothing away from those horses, but it looked like he had a shot. He's got pretty good tactical speed off the car. He's got enough, his lines are good enough where if we don't have to sprint off the car, just be in contention getting around the first turn and you'll work your way to the front. I think that was going to be the safer play tonight. And we got a little help in the first turn, some breakers. Ended up taking over the lead. I was more than happy to cut it with him. He's just matured into such a nice horse. He still just shakes before the race, just nerves. And as those dissipate, you're going to see a better and better horse come forward. I think I'll talk about it after. So What a Mission made my way to the front, and it worked out perfectly. I just wanted to go enough to have Aaron not remove, and yet enough to get a breather in. So the first chance I got to tap the brakes in front of the stands, I did. When we started him up, I was a little surprised. Aaron knows this horse and knows he's a fighter. And to be fair, I guess to Aaron's horse, I don't know his horse, and I don't know if he is. But popped out of the 2-hole down the backstretch, and again, I didn't know how good he was. So at worst, I thought I was second, and around the last turn, it looked pretty clear to me that What a Mission was having none of that. He was having none of that pop out of the 2-hole stuff. He put it on him, and then I love the way he just kept them at bay, right? He just kept them at bay and won. I thought the horse raced tremendous tonight. Out of the 8-hole, just a very, very good mile from him. Lonely Lakewood, I didn't get to talk about my earlier video. I'll be completely frank with everybody. I had a long conversation with Scotty. Scotty thought that I was mad because he didn't leave with Memory and Imagination. I wish he had of, but it is the first start of the year. We had a very, very long conversation about the babies and about how they are and about... I love having conversations with horse people about that, and especially drivers that are as accomplished as Scotty. Because as long as I've been in the game, I still haven't driven the horses that Scott Zeron has, right? And haven't driven for the people that Scott Zeron has. So it's always a different aspect, a different look. And Scotty is such a different kind of guy that it's pretty cool just to talk with him about the horses. And I'll be frank with everybody. His favorite one of the three today was Lonely Lakewood. I was shocked. He likes Vaquero Blue Chip. I think we both were on the same page with Vaquero Blue Chip. He's the type of horse that week in and week out is going to race good. But what you see is what you get. He'll improve marginally the same way every colt does. But I think you'll always see him be 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Always in the hunt, always there. The type of horse everybody wants to own, right? But you can tell that from him. This is what he is. Now, here's the difference. Scott thinks that Lonely Lakewood is a really, really nice horse, and I do too. I was surprised he said he was his favorite of the three. Memory and Imagination, I guess he hasn't been around in the same way I have. My take on Memory and Imagination is simple. I think he's the rarest, or the roughest piece of clay to work with of all the horses we have. I don't think we've seen his best stride, even close. I think he takes everything in stride, which is rare. for a young horse. I think he's got physically a ton of muscle to put on. And I'll put it to you like this. You guys know how I feel about Brace for Landing. And the reason I'll use Brace for Landing is because they are actually uncle and nephew, right? Brace for Landing's sister is the mother of Memory and Imagination. Now, I don't love Brace for Landing enough to say, oh, I need to buy every horse that's associated with Brace for Landing. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is Brace for Landing is mentally immature. That's his biggest fault, his biggest problem. That's why we gelded him. And that's why it took so long to geld him, because of the respect I have for the horse. But Memory and Imagination is a different beast. He's quieter, he's smarter, he takes his work in, but he is the exact same build as Brace for Landing. Physically immature. And that's not a bad thing in this case. As I said to Scott, I think that this horse will get better and better and better. Now, we've referenced and talked about how he kind of is a little pacey when he trained. Remember, I told you guys the other day that Megan said he didn't train great and he was a little bit pacey. Remember? And this is the same report that I got from on this horse when I went to train him the other day. Then I sat behind him. Now, Scott made a very good point. I haven't sat behind him behind the bike. I've never schooled him. I've never been behind the gate, with Memory and Imagination. It's always been training miles. Even though I come a good last half and a good last quarter, it has him in that stop and start pace. And that's where there may be the transition from second gear to third gear to fourth, so on and so forth, the back and forth of the race. Scott felt that he was immature in that regard, and he is. He is very, very immature, but I think his intelligence, his drive, and I told him, I said, say what you want. If you look through all the colts that raced, the ones that I watched anyway, he had the biggest kick the last 16th. They said, you were kind of out in the middle of the track around the last turn, then you were going to go right, and then you dove left. And when you dove left, you got blocked. And then you gather him back up, come back right again, and he shot on again. He said, yeah, well, that's right. I said, that's a horse that wants it, right? That's a horse that wants to win. And he's not physically even remotely close to doing what we want him to do. But that's a good thing. He's not sore. He's not lame in any way. Scott said, actually, I didn't find him that pacey. That's how I felt when I trained him. When you go slow with him, he does feel shuffly and pacey. But when you get him in a race situation, he just thaws. He's a cool customer. And he's a different kind of horse. He's not like those other horses. And that may be a good thing. It may be a bad thing. But I take it as a very good thing. I think when we get 5 or 6 races deep in the year, you are going to see a much different and much evolved Memory and Imagination. I could be wrong. And even if I am wrong, he's going to be a nice horse. He's different. And I think he's going to be a very, very nice horse. Lonely Lakewood, I was so happy to hear Scott say he liked him, because keep in mind, I didn't spend much time behind Lonely Lakewood. I know he interferes a little bit, and I know that he wants to come forward. Scott said I was really happy with him. And we both love Vaquero Blue Chip. It just, we were both on the same page. He is a nice horse. He will race that way every single week. I don't expect he's ever going to jump up and be like, oh my God, did you see that horse race last night? He's just always going to be in the mix. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, leave, sit, get him in a good spot. He'll sprint through. He's just the handiest, coolest type of horse to drive. I'd love to have a whole barn full of horses like that. And I was very happy to hear about the entire report of those 3 horses. But Scott and I will differ on Memory and Imagination from now. He didn't disagree with anything I said. He just didn't see it the same way as I did. But and again, I could be wrong or he could be wrong. We both could be right. We both could be wrong. But when it comes to Memory and Imagination, I think I could be wrong, but I'm saying it right now in this video. Give him 6 starts. On his 6th start, you tell me if Memory and Imagination isn't the type of horse I told you he was going to be. That's all I'm asking. And that's what I think you're in along the way. He's 1-2 today if he puts him in a place to win. He knows that, but I was happy he didn't. He thought that I was going to be angry because I didn't rough him up and race him. Not this guy. I'm okay with exactly how you raced the horse today, and I was happy with all 3 of them. They all raced good, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. They all look like they belonged, and you will see them. And the only thing I said to Scott was I believe Activation will join them in the Sire Stakes at some point. Maybe the first one, maybe not. We'll see. But I think Thursday's race will tell that tale. But I believe we could have 4 decent Sire Stake colts in our midst for Pennsylvania on the trotting side. So very impressed with them today. And What a Mission. I was talking to Scotty literally right before I went on the track, and I said, he's turned into a sweet horse. Now I want everybody to remember, I've talked about, and I will continue to, and I will put horses up for sale. And a lot of people say, I just think you're maybe getting rid of them too early. I can't explain exactly why I would sell a horse. I can give you reasons. I can tell you what I feel. But keep in mind, I did keep What a Mission last year, right? There are horses that I hold over that I just think haven't shown us their best, and they want to. If I believe they want to be better horses, I'll give them all the time in the world to show me. But if it just seems to me like this is what they are, and it's not enough for us, that is usually how they end up being sold. And I did keep What a Mission over a horse that really didn't look super special last year. But here's a horse that has now, I think, 9 starts, 8 in the top 3. The other one was a 4th place finish and looked rather good tonight out of the 8.5 mile track. So congratulations to everybody in the What a Mission group. Just a great night for us. Everybody this afternoon, we had a 1st, a 2nd, a 3rd, and a 4th in 4 starts today, I believe, in horse racing. A great day for us. Big days coming up, so good luck to everybody. Pickpocket, Arson, Militant, Steel Cowboy groups, and Blanton's Blue, and so on and so forth for the rest of the week. Good luck to everybody. With that, I'll let you go. I'm up tomorrow at 5:30, off to Kentucky. It's going to be a lot of fun. Take care.